Insertion of intrauterine device. This is the second video talking about intrauterine contraception, and we shall be focusing on the insertion of an IUD. So prior to the insertion, of course, a thorough history and discussion should have been carried out for the patient to be aware of the risks and benefits and what to expect from the procedure. The insertion should take place in an appropriate room with an appropriately trained healthcare professional. We need to ask her when her last menstrual period was, if she is currently using any contraception, and last episode of unprotected sexual intercourse. We also need to perform a urine pregnancy test. There should also be a skilled assistant present with an emergency trolley available should an emergency arise. Now, when should we insert an IUD? An IUD can be inserted at any time during the menstrual cycle, if pregnancy can be reasonably excluded. Now, what do we mean by this? We perform a pregnancy test, however, this is not enough. One or more of the following are also required to be reasonably sure that the patient is not pregnant. So, no sexual intercourse must have occurred since the last menstrual period, or she has been using contraception correctly and consistently, or she must be on day 1 to day 7 of her menstrual cycle, or she's less than 4 weeks postpartum and not breastfeeding, or less than 7 days post-abortion or miscarriage, or else fully breastfeeding, amenorrheic, and less than 6 months postpartum. Now, when inserting these IUDs, you must appreciate the difference that a copper IUD is immediately effective as a form of contraception. However, the LNG-IUS is only immediately effective if inserted on day 1 to 7 of the menstrual cycle. If not, additional precautions like condoms must be used for the first 7 days. As we said before, if unprotected sexual intercourse has taken place since the last period, we cannot be reasonably certain that pregnancy is excluded. However, if UPSI has occurred, we can insert the copper IUD if the insertion takes place before implantation. As we said, the main method of contraception of the copper IUD is prevention of implantation. Therefore, the copper IUD can still be inserted up to 5 days after ovulation or up to 5 days after UPSI. With the hormonal IUD, if UPSI has occurred, we cannot insert it, as it takes 7 days for the hormonal IUD to become effective. Therefore, there will be a risk of pregnancy. Another important point to mention is insertion of IUDs after abortion, miscarriage, or postpartum. IUDs can be inserted at the time or within the first 48 hours after the pregnancy, or else we must delay until after 4 weeks. The reason behind avoiding the 48-hour to 4-week window is due to an increased risk of uterine perforation. Okay, so now let's take a look at the insertion technique. So first up, we need to perform a bimanual vaginal examination to assess the size, mobility, and position of the uterus. Next up, we need to insert a Cusco speculum and get the cervix into view. A single-toothed tenaculum is then applied to the cervix in order to stabilize and straighten the uterus. So as you can see here, we've got an anteverted uterus. Once the tenaculum pulls the anterior lip of the cervix, the uterus straightens, and this makes it easier to manipulate the uterine cavity. Next, we want to measure the uterine sound in order to get a measurement of the length of the uterine cavity. This will reduce the risk of perforation and ensure the IUD is placed at the fundus of the uterus. Now, before we carry on with the insertion technique, let us take a closer look at the insertion device. So here we have a JDES insertion device. So up here we've got the JDES itself, the insertion tube with a double-sided centimeter scale, the flange, the handle containing the mark, the slider, and the threads inside. As you can see from this view, the insertion tube is appropriately curved to mimic the curved shape of the uterus. So first up, we want to load the JDS. We do this by pushing the slider forwards to load the JDS into the insertion tube. Next, we want to set the flange to correspond to the measurement of the uterine sound. Then we can advance the inserter into the cervix. Once reaching the flange, you know that you have reached the fundus of the uterus. So now we want to retract the inserter by 1.5 to 2 centimeters, then pull the slider to the mark to open the horizontal arms of the JDS. Then advance the inserter gently until the flange touches the cervix. The JDS is now in the fundal position. Holding the inserter in place, we can release the JDS by pulling the slider all the way down, and then gently remove the inserter. Next, we can cut the threads to leave 2 to 3 centimeters visible outside of the cervix. And that is the insertion technique. After the procedure, the patient is given an IUD reminder card with details of the insertion and a reminder when it needs to be replaced. We should also offer a follow-up appointment in around 6 weeks to ensure all is okay. Patients can also be shown how to check the threads of their IUD, and if not present should seek advice, so obviously we need to inform them to wash their hands, then find a comfortable place to sit or squat, then insert their middle or index finger into the vagina to feel for the strings. Therefore, sometimes we do get patients presenting with lost IUD threads. They can't be felt by the patient and cannot be seen on speculum examination. And there are 3 possible causes for this. So first, it could be the device is correctly located in the uterus, but the threads are either short or have been drawn into the uterine cavity. Next, the device could have been expelled from the uterine cavity, or else the device may have perforated and is in an extrauterine location. So what do we do in these cases? So first of all, we need to perform a pregnancy test, because if the IUD is not in situ and she has been having unprotected sexual intercourse, we need to exclude pregnancy. We also perform a transvaginal ultrasound scan to see if we can locate the device in the uterus. If we cannot locate it, then we perform an abdominal X-ray to assess for extrauterine location. So as you can see clearly in this X-ray, we can see the copper IUD in the pelvis. Now, if we have done all these tests and we have not identified the IUD, it is safe to assume that it has been expelled. Now, when it comes to removing the device, the threads are simply grasped, usually with an appropriate instrument, and the IUD is withdrawn out of the uterine cavity. That's about it regarding insertion of an IUD. Let me know in the comments if you found this video helpful. Like and subscribe.